However, no one is immune to the bruises a bully leaves behind. You can't see them on the outside, but she carries them on the inside to this day. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kylie Greathouse.
Hold this.
I want to start off by saying that this shouldn't be too long, so just sit in your seats a little bit longer. But this is quite difficult for me to share. But I want to share it to let those who have been bullied know that they are not alone and that they can overcome this. I am a student here at Brook High School. I listen to the same music as you. I read the same books. I volunteer. I do whatever I can to help someone else. And if I can't, I'll find someone who can. I go to church. I play sports. And I'm in the band. At a first glance, I would appear to be the average high school student. But if it weren't for my very difficult past with bullying, I would have never have become the positive student that I am today. For those of you who know me well, and for those of you who don't know me so well, this is a very touchy subject. I was bullied profusely in primary and middle school, and not only by students, but also by a teacher. In the 4th grade, at 10 years old, I had a teacher tell me that I was not smart like the other students, that there was no way that I would be able to succeed if I couldn't do simple math. And it didn't stop there. It happened repeatedly. She would point out any flaws that I exhibited. Because my peers saw an adult doing it, they assumed that it was okay, so they followed suit. I was never the prettiest or the smartest, and not too many people liked me. I kept to myself. I hated who I was. Maybe I really was stupid, like they said. Maybe I was really fat, like they called me. Maybe I was going to be what she told me I was going to be. Nothing. I would lie to my parents, and I would tell them that school was okay. By the middle of that year, though, I had no self-esteem left in me. I didn't think it could get any worse than it was, but it did. The name-calling and the feeling of secludedness became unbearable. I felt like I was alone in a world surrounded by people. I hardly had any friends. I usually sat alone. And then I came to the subtle realization that I wanted to die. It would be better that way. I would feel happier. Then one day, after being called a name too crude to repeat, I went home, crying, not knowing why it hurt my heart so bad, why those names held so much power behind them. And I walked up to my mom, who was standing in the kitchen cooking, and I said, "Mom, why do people have to be so mean?" I said, "They make me feel like nothing." I said, "And the worst part is that they do it on purpose." She sat for a second, not understanding why I was saying this. She had no idea what had happened. I had finally told my mom what had been happening at school. She sat beside me, and she cried. She saw her baby hurting, and she hurt too. After a while, she took my hands, and she looked at me, and she said, "Kylie, you are a smart child." She said, "You have to know that deep down in your heart, you have something that those bullies might not have. She said, you have Jesus, and he's here to help you. She said, I want you to remember my favorite verse. It's from Hebrews. Never will I leave you. Never will I forsake you. She said, I want you to remember that. She said, if you ask me, that is one heck of a promise, and he's there beside you. She then told me that bullies want to bring you down because you have something that they admire. So that's where I turned my little life around. That rock bottom that I hit became the solid foundation on which I would build my entire life from there on out. And one of the many things that I learned was that when you think your life is falling apart, you think it's all over. But maybe those little pieces are actually falling into place, creating a greater masterpiece. I stopped letting people who did so little for me control so much of my mind and my feelings and my emotions. I made a promise to myself that I would never let someone tell me that I was not good enough again. Though I was only bullied verbally, it hurt far more than anyone could ever imagine. But I want to impress upon you that I did not let that define me. I rose above the adversity. I smiled even when I hurt. I became more active. I joined clubs. I was going to show them. I built my self-esteem back up to the extreme high that it is today. And most importantly, I learned to accept the apology that I was never given. I wasn't going to let my past make me bitter. I was going to let it make me better. It doesn't hurt the bully when you hold a grudge. It only eats you, yourself. It helped me immensely when I was blessed to have an amazing 5th grade teacher. She truly was the best. She was the exact help that I needed. She encouraged me to try and give it my all. She told me that no one could decide what you are capable of except for yourself. And to be honest with you, I can say that if it weren't for her, I would not be the person that I am today. I can still remember the atmosphere that she gave off. It was one of happiness, encouragement, and most of all, learning. She not only made me feel smart, but she fed my love for learning. She gave me the opportunity to shine, to let others see my God-given talent. She taught me the difference between a teacher who can help a child and a teacher who can hurt one. Some children can barely remember the deeds of those in the past, but I will never forget her. And I will never be able to repay her for what she did for me. She taught me how to respect myself. And I love her for that. It is with much thanks to her that I can be before you today. Thank you.